Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's energy update for April 3rd through to April 10th. My name is Rebecca Meisel, and welcome. I am so excited to dive into these themes this week. We have such exciting themes, so much beauty that wanted to channel through, and I really am excited to share the messages that came through for us. So for this week, we have some amazing themes like awakening the inner divine, how we express that, removing duality, removing separation, coming back to peace and oneness. We have a theme of anger and letting go, sensuality and bliss, embracing our gifts, rising up in confidence, uncovering worthiness, embracing our differences, releasing the need to be perfect, windfall of abundance, a soul-led journey, and sending love. So we have an absolutely beautiful week, if you couldn't tell from those beginning themes here. So let's dive into our first one. So awakening the inner divine. So this was really beautiful because what was really coming through here immediately as I sat down to channel was this goddess energy. And if you've been listening to my podcast or keeping up to date with these updates, there has been this huge theme of embracing the divine feminine. And this week, we're really learning to do that, but in a very healthy way, in a balanced way with this approach of oneness. So really bringing this integration of the divine feminine and masculine energies and learning how to embrace both sides of ourselves. So this is a theme we are continuing on. It's definitely a theme that we've gone through a few weeks, but what's really cool, what channeled through was a little bit different. So what we're doing this week and what's really coming through in the energies is how to start celebrating the feminine and celebrating our inner divinity. So what I wrote here was celebrating the womb space. And with that, it's like a lot of times if you identify as a woman, it's like we sometimes have this disconnect with our womb. And this has really become prominent in more recent years because of so much of the suppression that women over all of history has really been subjected to, is this suppression, this inability to be equal, this inability to really have a voice and embrace their feminine aspects. And what we're really learning this week is how to reconnect with what makes us a woman. And with that, it's like celebrating that. And whether you're a woman or not, it's like embracing the feminine aspects. And the feminine aspects are so much about freeing ourselves, letting things flow, letting ourselves express ourselves in full authenticity. And so a lot of times we can identify the womb space with the sacral chakra. And that is all about pleasure. That is all about enjoying the experience of life and becoming like that little child again that we once were, and allowing ourselves to express our emotions in healthy ways. So what we're being asked to do this week is to go into that. How do you personally express your divine feminine? And I thought that was such a thought-provoking question because a lot of times we can know the general, ways, like I just kind of mentioned, those general points of what the feminine is. But we're being asked this week to go into how you personally identify with that energy and how you can start expressing that more in your earthly existence. So how can you celebrate this side of yourself? And how can we start releasing the toxic conditioning of what the feminine is? And so what was really channeling this week is, once again, we're coming to this wholeness, this oneness. And this also includes this feminine energy. Because of, like I've mentioned earlier, the feminine has been so suppressed. And in more recent years, we've had this almost rage that has come up on a collective level where women are like, hey, you know what? This isn't okay. We are equal. We can do just what a man can. And there's been almost this anger and this resentment because we've been so suppressed for so long. And this goes for men as well with that feminine side, right? Because men likewise have been taught that they can't embrace those sides of themselves. They can't cry. They can't be emotional. They have to be the manly man. And that resistance that then gets created in any gender you identify, it's really difficult because we tend to reject that side of ourselves. So here we are, we're fully in one side of our energy and we're rejecting the other due to societal norms and programming. So this week, we're being called to address any resentment that has been created because of these programs, because of this societal dictation that it's not okay to be emotional, that it's not okay to be womanly, to be feminine, however that applies to you. And so it's like, how can we start acknowledging if we feel angry about that, if we feel any sort of resentment for suppression that we've endured in that respect, and instead really learning, we'll use this example of women going, well, I can do what a man can do, but how can we start shifting that perception to what about embracing what a man can't do? So for women, this message was really coming through. It's like, don't forget to embrace all of who you are. And how can we remove this need to prove a point? And where can we start really working with the resentment, working with the anger that might be in us because of the suppression we've endured? And how can we start going deeper than that and releasing the need to prove a point, releasing the need to be angry, and instead going to the root that we're hurt. The feminine has been hurt. It has been aching. It has been in pain for years, throughout all of history. So it's like, this is what we're actually being called to heal. And sometimes it's really hard because it's easier for us to just be angry. It's easier for us to blame the male energy. And it's easy for us to actually get this chip on our shoulder when it comes to what we've endured. But what we're being called to do this week is really go to the pivotal point of that hurt. And as hard as it is, it's like, go in and feel that wound. Go in and feel that hurt within yourself. And once again, this goes beyond gender. All of us have this feminine energy, and all of us have held this energy at some point, and more than likely still all do. So even if you are, say, a male in this life, well, you could have been a female in a past life. You could still have this wound. And even when you are a male, and like I mentioned earlier, you haven't been able to embrace those aspects of yourself, it's okay to be angry about that. They're kind of giving me this example of a young boy being raised by a father who wouldn't allow him to just feel how he felt, that he had to be a man, that he had to, remove his emotions to be worthy, to be enough for his father and gain his approval. And so when we take that perception, it's like, whatever gender you are, this transcends that. It's like, so where is that wound in yourself? Where are you hurting? And where have we used blame and anger to mask the real root cause? Okay. So they're actually showing me this manifest very physically in a lot of people. And once again, they're showing me the womb space. So if you are someone you've been struggling even physically in your womb space with your ovaries, with those organs, within that space, be very mindful. What are my relationships to the feminine energy? What is my relationship to that? What is my relationship to the male energy, to the masculine energy? And where am I holding and harboring resentments and anger that are truly just hurting me? And that's the thing. We want to come to this point where we can heal this wound. We don't want to keep carrying this anger and this hurt and this injustice forward. So to do that, it starts with us as individuals. It starts with us personally going in and healing this so this doesn't continue. Because none of us want that. None of us want to continue the suppression forward. None of us want to have that suffering that we've had to endure even in our own lifetimes or previous lifetimes and continue that generations down the road. So this is the inner work we are being called to do to create this new earth that we are creating, to create oneness and unity. So really do that this week. Where can I start embracing all parts of myself and bring myself to wholeness, recognizing that all of us are one, right? So removing the hate, removing the blame, removing that need to prove a point that I am enough, I can do better, I can do the same. It's like we don't need to prove, we just need to be. And it's safe for us to be ourselves now. And that's such a huge point that they want to impress this week. Our guides are just like, it's safe. You don't have to keep being in anger. You don't have to keep holding this pain inside you, inside your body. It's okay to let go. It's okay to embrace love, embrace oneness. And they're really showing this directed hatred at the masculine. And so they're saying, no more, remove that. That is not good for you. That is making you almost reject the masculine even within yourself. So they're really showing where this conflict can really be within the body and within our energies. And so this week it's so healing because we're really learning to embrace both. We're really learning to embrace everyone just as they are and really get clear of where we've been resisting our own beliefs. So really interesting here because it's like if you believe in oneness, if you believe in that everybody deserves to be heard, to have a voice, to be loved, then where are you making exceptions to your own values? Where are you really not in alignment with that truth? Right? So sometimes we have to get really honest with ourselves and to give ourselves that grace that it's okay, right? So once again, this isn't to shame ourselves. This isn't to make us feel bad. It's like our hurt is valid, and this is what we've been talking about for weeks. But what we're really coming to, and I'm going to say it again, is no separation, to oneness. Okay. And really being mindful of where we've put the separation, even within gender role, right? We see so much of that right now. There's so much division within genders and specifications and all of this. And it's like, how can we get to a point where we transcend that? Where it's just, I love you. I see you. You are you. That's beautiful. I love how you are unapologetically yourself. I love how you are as an individual, and it's this removal of the need to prove ourselves. And it's absolutely freeing. It's so healing, it's absolutely amazing. So with that, we're releasing these resentments towards injustices in our lives. So this goes a step further now to not just what we've been talking about, but in general in our lives. So this week we might get this alert or this awareness to where we're still hurting, where we're still resenting. And what I really heard, it's like it's time to really work with that resentment. It's time to do that introspection. Where am I still holding resentment over oppression? Where am I ready to heal? And so they asked the next few questions for us to really go deep in. So I'm going to repeat those to you now. So number one was, where am I ready to heal? And what would it look like if I dropped the hurt and the grudge? What would life look like? They really wanted us to go into that. If I didn't have this anger, this hurt, what would life be for me, right? So a step further, how can I be the creator of peace in my world? Because once again, they want us to take responsibility. They're encouraging us to really step into our own creative skills and leadership in our lives, because we create our lives. We create our reality. So once again, how can I take that ownership of my life and create actively more peace in my life. And what they were kind of showing me is some of us might need to put in that bubble of bliss. That's what I like to call it, this bubble of bliss, where you live in your own little world for a while and you just don't let the negativity, you don't let the conditioning, the wounds, the hurts, the injustices penetrate that bubble. It's like, okay, I'm going to create my life in such a beautiful, blissful way that is what I choose to focus on, and that is what I choose to experience. And once more, it's not being ignorant to what is happening around us, but it's having the awareness of what is it worth? What is costing my peace, and how can I start reining back in those boundaries that ensure that I'm not sacrificing it, that I'm not sacrificing myself, my love, my happiness, my joy, and my peace in life, right? So important. So they're saying some of us might need to actually do that. Create your bubble of bliss, and to know that that is really encouraged this week. So the awareness came in that right now is a pivotal time in our planetary healing, and we are truly healing on a collective level. We are truly releasing, we're shedding all the conditioning and all of these programs that for years and years and years has been suppressing us, that has been keeping us small, that has not been allowing us to free ourselves and be ourselves in full authenticity and in full love and awareness of oneness. So it's really pivotal this week that we really be mindful. What energies am I contributing to throughout this process? What kind of world do I purposely want to live in, that I personally want to partake in? And how can I make sure that I'm focusing on the things that truly are important, like love, like removal of separation? And so we're really being called this week to be mindful of this. Where are we truly placing our energy? Because where our attention goes, energy flows, and that creates and that manifests. So be very mindful. What am I actively thinking about? What am I actively putting effort into at this time? And then when we do this introspection, we're getting the awareness of things that perhaps even on a subconscious level or an area where the ego has hidden these shadow aspects of ourselves, where we are still resentful, we are still, angry. And sometimes we can mask that, not realize that we're still feeling that way. So I'm hearing some of us might get this wake up call this week to areas that we've been unaware of. Okay, so be very mindful of embracing that. Don't judge yourself. Keep moving forward. This is all part of the process of healing. So it's really, really beautiful. So with this, embrace the energies of the full moon. We have this beautiful full moon coming forward for us this week. So do what you can to really shed, to really let this go, whatever that looks like for you. It's really supported this release work this week. So there was also a suggestion of a burning ceremony. So really take part, letting the fire really burn up what's no longer serving. And we really are in this time of Aries season. So we're all about the fire right now. We're all about fast, decisive action. And with that, it's like really letting that awareness come in. What is ready to be let go? and what is ready to be let go now? So with this, we have this next step going further into anger. So with that, it was really interesting because I wrote all this stuff down and I was channeling, and then I was like, oh, you want to talk about anger again? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, you want this to be its own heading? And they're like, yes. So I'm like, okay. So there was more that wanted to come through here in retrospect to anger. Okay. So what channeled right away was let it go. So what they were showing me was literally this inner fire that was burning up our insides. So once again, Where are you physically burning up? Where are you physically holding heat and inflammation in your body? Because that can really be a sign to where we're holding trapped emotions of anger, okay? So be very mindful. And with that, they were giving us suggestions to healthily release anger. So a lot of movement in the body. So what they were kind of showing me is, screaming into a pillow, yelling into a pillow, letting yourself physically release that pent up energy. So if you get hit with anger this week, that's a great way to let it out, especially if there's something you feel you needed to voice and needed to say, or still feel like you need to voice and say, scream it out, let it out, or write it out. They're even showing writing or even talking it out with a close friend who won't judge, right? And just allowing yourself to really get real. I am upset about this, and to let it out. So other ways they were showing that we can healthily release anger is through physical movement. So whether it's boxing, whether it's, cardio, whether it's, weightlifting, weight training, whatever feels good, participate in that this week. Really let yourself move the energy from your physical. And I'm hearing it'll be such a great release. And then what was really cool is artistic expression was really highlighted here. So when you're in your feelings, what a wonderful way to get them out is through painting, through creative and artistic endeavors. And this was super encouraged. So there is showing me an artist painting and just like splattering paint on the canvas, moving it around, like even finger painting, all of this. It's just like, forget the rules of life for a minute and just feel how you feel. What does that look like? How do you want to express that? And it was so healing watching that vision and watching that expression come out, that release that happens. So that was really strongly encouraged. If you're more creative, why not express yourself that way? Why not utilize those emotions and really put them on the canvas? So the main theme here was letting your emotions flow through you, and to stop viewing our emotions as the enemy or something to be fixed. So this was a huge theme as well, where it's like, especially anger, we can really judge ourselves for that. And it's really important that we start removing that judgment and shame for feeling how we feel. Anger is just another emotion, and it's a human emotion. All of us feel it. So when are we going to just allow ourselves to feel it and embrace it and recognize that it doesn't mean we're a bad person if we're angry, if we're still upset? And once again, they're bringing this awareness to timelines. There's no timeline for how long you can be upset about something. Okay. We have such a societal pressure on that. Well, we should be over it. We should have let it go years ago. It's like, well, just because other people told you to get over it doesn't mean that you're over it. So embrace those emotions. If you're still angry about something that happened 10 years ago, then now's the time to really feel it and let yourself feel it without self-shame. Okay, so be very mindful of that. Where am I still ashamed of my anger, of feeling how I feel, and not allowing myself to participate in my emotions? Okay, so once more, this is healing the feminine energy. This is embracing all parts of ourselves unapologetically. And this is something we tend to not think of when it comes to embracing yourself and being yourself fully. That means you have to embrace all those parts, even the parts that you perhaps have said were undesirable in yourself. Okay, so this is the work we're being called to do. So let those emotions flow through you. Don't hold them captive in your body anymore. Let them move through, all right? Honor them. So moving from there, we have this amazing theme of sensuality and bliss. So allowing the sacredness of life to fill you up. So this week, we're being really called to connect with what makes us feel blissful, what makes us feel passionate, and to do and take the liberties we need to feel that way. So they're actually showing me a visual of someone who's investing in some beautiful like body lotions, like or essential oils, things that make you feel loved, that make you feel beautiful, that make you connect with your sensual side, with all the senses. And this is very strongly encouraged. They're showing me like little things like buying yourself flowers, smelling their sweet fragrance, and being in that present moment of appreciation and beauty. Another aspect is going to an art gallery, seeing beautiful artworks and getting inspiration from that and how that makes you feel, or listening to a song that gives you the shivers, that gives you the goosebumps, that just fills you up. That is what we're being called to do this week, is don't forget to fill your cup. Don't forget to connect with the sacredness of life itself and how beautiful all of the senses are, all of the amazing human experiences that we get to have. And I'm really hearing is we're delving into a deeper appreciation of that. We're really getting in touch with our humanity, with our human experience, even in these little more subtle ways. And that makes life that much more exciting, that much more beautiful when we notice those things, when we spend time appreciating, cultivating gratitude, engaging in our senses. And it's absolutely amazing. So with this, we're learning to connect, and we're learning that we are connected to everyone and everything. So once again, coming back to oneness, coming back to this amazing truth that we are always connected to everything. And it's beautiful when we start having this higher awareness. So we're cultivating this oneness this week. We're embracing nature. We're embracing the senses. And they're really encouraging us, if you have a hard time with that, to go to nature, to be in nature. So they showed me someone meditating in the forest and really being able to connect that way, and feeling the breeze on your skin, feeling the soft earth beneath you, engaging your senses in that meditative state can be an absolutely blissful experience. And so I'm really hearing engage in that this week. Do what you can to really connect. So it's absolutely stunning. So from there, we have a theme of embracing our gifts. So once again, sacred expression, doing what we love, becoming inspired by life, and having this amazing confidence to express ourselves out into the world. So with this, it's absolutely amazing. Once again, we're being called to do a little bit of a deeper dive into our sacred why. What are you here to say? What is your why? Why do you feel you are here in this world, in this lifetime? What are you here to express? What is that passion within yourself? What is it that you truly want to share while you're here? And to really be mindful. Because this week I'm seeing almost this reawakening, this remembering of our true gifts, our true expressions of ourselves, and how we are sharing ourselves in this world and how it matters. So really get in touch. What are my gifts? What are my talents and abilities, and am I fully using them? Am I really allowing myself to shine bright? Am I stepping into my authenticity that way? And am I bold and courageous in sharing what I'm here to share? So I'm really seeing this awakening happen, this rising in confidence, which is truly inspiring. So with that, I'm almost seeing this awareness drop in this week where it's like, wow, actually, I am really good at this. And it's almost this like pat on the back, like, wow, actually, like I'm done putting myself down. I'm done thinking I'm not good enough. And it's like you're finally opening your eyes and you're finally seeing like, wow, I actually can do some really great things. And this awareness is so wonderful and so inspiring for your soul, and it rises that confidence. So we're really being called to stick to it. Allow yourself to drop into the awareness of how wonderful you are, how awesome you are, and really embracing that full-heartedly. So with that, I'm seeing this week, we might have some thoughts or some people challenge us in this, but it's all to help us come back to this awareness. So if you find this week that you're challenged by wanting to people please or wanting to cater to others this week, remember this reading. It's time to embrace your confidence. It's time to stand up for all of who you are and to not be afraid to ask for what you want. So this week, we're getting this really keen reminder to remain in our power and to once again recognize how awesome we are and what we deserve. So with this awareness of really embracing all parts, really embracing the feminine aspects, it's like, I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to pretend that I'm someone other than I am, or I like this when I don't, or, all of this truth that's really popping in is truly transformative because it's helping us embrace honesty. It's helping us embrace our awareness of self and going, hey, you know what? I actually want to do this, or I want to do it this way, or this is the way I resonate with that. And we're learning to stand up for ourselves despite the need to cater to others. So it's really beautiful. I'm seeing this really come in. So with that, we're uncovering our worth and value, and we're becoming aware of even our own self-talk this week. So this was really highlighted was how we're speaking to ourselves. So if you are struggling, if you are having a hard time speaking up for yourself or people pleasing like we just talked about, then these are some suggestions that can really help. So what we're being called to do is bring our awareness. How do we speak to ourselves? What are we saying to ourselves every day? Do we have positive self-talk, or are we putting ourselves down? Are we working against ourselves in that? How confident are we? And are we becoming our best friend? Are we cheering ourselves on? And if not, why not? We need to start shifting that narrative. And so they're really encouraging morning affirmations. And it was really interesting because they showed me someone doing mirror work. So standing in front of the mirror and repeating positive affirmations of self. And I'm seeing this really be amazing. So once again, this is a very simple and easy practice that takes 2 minutes a day. And this is self-work that's truly amazing, that can really help us progress in our confidence and how we view ourselves. So this week, we're being called to go to those self-love practices and bring that awareness. Okay, so from there, as we raise our confidence, as we start seeing our value and our worth, we're learning to embrace how we're different. And it was so beautiful because I wrote, embracing how we're different, we're loving it, we're sharing it, we're reveling in it. So I love that word, like revel, because it's like you're truly enjoying it. It's not a word you use often, but it's so telling because once again, it's like really enjoying who we've become and how we are unique and embracing that uniqueness and going, you know what? Yes, I am different. Yes, I am here to maybe speak out and say things that people won't like right now, or I will have to, showcase my gifts that maybe not others are going to understand or approve of. But that's okay because I don't need their approval. All I need is approval of myself. And it's this beautiful stepping into our power this week. And with that, this is when we truly get inspiration from the divine. So they're showing me that this week, a lot of us are stepping in and leaning into ourselves, claiming our power. And with that, these new downloads for our lives start dropping in. So with this claiming of who we are, the universe is going, okay, they're ready. They're ready for the next steps. They're ready to move forward in this new exciting chapter. And I'm seeing amazing spiritual downloads come in this week, amazing insights that are dropping in, upgrades, enlightenment, this awareness of who we are, why we're here, and what we're going to do next is really coming in. So if you've been confused about purpose, if you've been confused about your next steps, I'm really getting that if we're aware and if we keep our eyes open, we'll be receiving these messages of how to move onward. So it's really beautiful. All I can hear is this applause right now. So clearly we're doing well. We're needing to celebrate ourselves. So we're getting this reveal of next steps. We're becoming the leader of our lives, and we're trusting our resilience. So this next part here was very much this energy of moving forward fearlessly. When we get those next steps, it's like, okay, I'm ready to do it because I know I can. And having that trust in self is truly inspiring this week. It's amazing. So we're releasing the need to be perfect. We're embracing new challenges and learning curveballs with ease, okay? Or navigating curveballs with ease. So this was really cool. I had this feeling that some of us might be doing things we're not used to or doing things that are new to us. And with that, we're really being called to just roll with it. Let yourself trust yourself. Let go of the need to have everything perfect and in order right now. If you're starting a new job, it's like, just learn. Just have a willing and open heart to learn and to experience and to not judge yourself if you make mistakes or if things don't go as planned. It's like, we're here to learn. So let yourself learn. Don't beat yourself up. So very much it's like we're learning how we're capable. We're having this confidence that we can do anything. And we're having this attitude as we start embracing new things. So it's really cool, and we're getting this awareness now of just how much we've evolved, how much we have grown, even within the matter of weeks. And they're really calling us to review just that evolution, bring that awareness, how much you've grown, how much you've learned, how much you have changed in a beautiful way to truly embrace yourself. So give yourself that awareness. You're like the phoenix rising from the ashes, and that's such a beautiful example because sometimes it can really feel like that. It can feel like our lives at one point was just ash, was nothing, was building from the ground up, and putting in that work and effort could have been really difficult. Healing is that journey where we have the ebb and flow. We have both the light and the dark, and it can be challenging. So this week they're saying review the challenges you overcame already and how resilient you are, how amazing you are for triumphing over things you didn't think you could even get through, but you did, and that's what's so inspiring is you're actually getting inspiration from your own story. You're getting this awareness of how amazing you really are. And the emotion just came right in. Wow. And that love, there's such an outpouring of love that's coming through right now. And I hope you can feel that in the energy. But it's just like, you should be so proud of yourself. Woo, I almost could cry. Yeah, this is how your guides feel. Like they're so overwhelmed with pride for you and all that you've come through and all that has come to pass that has brought you to this pivotal moment in your journey. Oh, it's just so inspiring. So you're learning, and we're continuing to learn, and you're really stepping into this power from these experiences. So it's absolutely amazing. And with this, we have such a beautiful theme of this windfall of abundance that is truly well-deserved. So what I'm getting is you've done the work. You've been manifesting through your actions, through your self-love, through this awareness of just being yourself and seeing how that is enough. And you've been putting that frequency out. So that has been coming back. That is returning to you now, where it's like, yeah, you are enough. So what's going to happen is everything that's meant for you is going to come in. All this abundance that you now know you're worthy of, you're going to be willing to receive because you know you're worthy of it. And so we're getting this huge windfall of abundance that's coming through. And they're like really wanting us to bring awareness to the blessings that are truly coming in. So even how small, it's like, take notice of that. Go, wow, you know what? I made this happen by me loving myself, by me doing the work. And this is absolutely amazing. I'm going to take this. I'm going to appreciate this. I'm going to cultivate that gratitude, which only, expedites our manifestations. So with that, this week we're being called to recognize what happy surprises come in. I'm seeing unexpected news. I'm seeing us really make the most of these new things coming in and knowing we're supported now. And that's what's so beautiful is we've gone from life feeling scary. We've gone from life, bullying us. We've been the victim to life. We're shifting that now to we are empowered by life. We are the leader of our lives. We are seeing that we are constantly supported by ourselves, by being that best friend for ourselves. And that only allows more of this abundance and support to come in. So we're seeing we are safe. We're meeting our needs. The universe is meeting our needs. And it's like this commendation. Just keep up this good work. You are on the right path. You are doing the right things. And you're doing it by living a soul-based journey. We're allowing ourselves to be led by our souls through life. We're letting our hearts lead the way instead of our heads, instead of the conditioning and the programs that we've been susceptible to, our whole journey. We're changing that. And that is such a beautiful thing. So let that drop in this week. All right. So final theme, spreading the love. So now that we have come to this pivotal point, how can we share that love? How can we bring that awareness and really just be love and echo that love out into the world? Because so many times, I know even in my own journey, we can get to this point where we're just so full of love. We're so full of joy because of these spiritual, expansive, thoughts and downloads we've had. It's really hard when we see others in their suffering. It's really hard to look around the world and see the darkness when you're like, oh my gosh, like I just want to heal everybody. I want to help everybody. I want to, share myself and share the love of the universe and the knowledge that it has. And it can be really disheartening when other people don't take it. But what we're being called this week to do, it's like, but just be love anyway. Just by being love, you are healing the world. And we're recognizing once again, we don't have to prove anything. We just have to be it. So if you want to shed and spread the love, then be love. And that frequency echoes out. And this removes the judgment. This removes us from judging another person's journey, from going, no, you need to be on the same path as me. And we're freeing ourselves of that restrictive mindset. And instead we're like, I'm just going to love you through your journey. I'm going to love you wherever you are, whatever stage you're in. I'm just going to love you. And when we put that pure intent out, it's like magic. And if you even think about your own journey, it's like when we all think back to hard times, sometimes we didn't need advice at all. All we needed was just someone to send us love. Someone to just go, I love you. I know you're having a hard time. I know this is a challenge, but I'm here. I'm listening. And I'm just going to love you. I'm going to love you through it. And how beautiful that is. And if we didn't get that, then how can we give that to others? And remove the judgment. Remove the need to have everything just so, even the spiritual journey. And once again, how can we have the compassion to give this to ourselves as well? So give yourself grace this week. If there are parts of you that have been stuck in healing, that haven't been wanting to transform the way your mind has said they need to transform. As an example, some of those shadow parts of ourselves that come up, maybe the anger, maybe the hurt, maybe the guilt, maybe those have remained untouched by our healing journey thus far because they've been stubborn. They've been like, no, I want you to feel me. I want you to honor me first. I'm not going to change until you listen to me. Right? So we have to have this awareness. Where can you give yourself grace? Okay. There's a part of me that's not ready to heal yet. That's okay. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love this part of me because that's what it needs. It doesn't need me to reject it anymore. It doesn't need me to be rated anymore, to say it's an ugly thing. No. All it needs is love. All it needs is my compassion. All it needs is for me to listen and to hear it. And when you do, that love is what transforms. That love is what heals. And it's absolutely amazing. So how can we let love transform our lives? How can we let love be that motivation in every action? And how can we just keep being love in this world? And never forget, my friends, how powerful that is. Every offering of love, every single action you take from love for yourself or for others in this world all matters. So, my friends, I end this reading today with that question. How can you be more love? So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading as much as I did. What an amazing channeling session this morning. I'm feeling that energy. It's absolutely incredible what we are doing and what we are healing and how we are truly creating this new world, this new beautiful world of love, of oneness. And never forget how powerful that is. So, my friends, I'm wishing you all a beautiful week. And if I can be of support to you, if you need help this week, going through and healing some of these challenging aspects for yourself, reach out. I'll leave my information below. Sending you all so much love and light. Have a beautiful and blessed week, my friends. Bye-bye.